Hey, all new newlyweds. I ran across a study that I found very interesting that I wanted to share with you guys, and it's called Positive Expectations in the Early Years of Marriage. Should couples expect the best or brace for the worst? The study was done by James K. McNutley from Ohio State University and Benjamin R. Kearney from the University of Florida. I want to kind of look into both aspects of this study, the expect for the best and the brace for the worst, and then I will be giving the results. And finally, we'll be discussing some myths of relationships that in the study they kind of looked into, that if people buy into these, it can affect their marital satisfaction. So as I said, let's start with expect for the best. And there's a quote by Norman Vincent Peale, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, that says, "Things become better when you expect the best instead of the worst." And the study revealed that what people expect to receive affects how they evaluate what they actually do receive, and that expectations inspire outcomes that are consistent with those expectations. So Peale agreed that positive expectations should be cultivated because they direct people towards positive outcomes. Continuing, research suggests that positive expectations lead to positive outcomes. Positive expectations about a relationship are necessary for developing and maintaining healthy relationship functioning. Expectations can serve as goal structures that motivate positive processes. Consistent with Peale's view, spouses who have skills to attain positive outcomes benefit from positive expectations. Being a newlywed myself, I can definitely see the importance in maintaining positive expectations and just always thinking the best of your spouse and how they can come through, and that, like it says, that gives you goals and motivates you to do positive processes. Now we'll go on the flip side of bracing for the worst. And here's another quote, and this one is by Alexander Pope. And he said, "Blessed is he who expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed." Like on the flip side, any expectations leave people vulnerable to disappointment should they fail to be met. Pope argued that positive expectations should be avoided because they increase the likelihood of experiencing disappointments. Research also suggests that positive expectations lead to disappointment and marital dysfunction. Continuing, another quote was, "Couples are at increased risk when expectations are unreasonable." And I think that's the key in this concept, is unreasonable expectations. Expectations can serve as counterfactuals to which people compare their actual outcomes. And that just means that if you set too high of expectations, even though they're positive, it can be counterproductive, because once that goal or whatever is completed and you're looking back on it with this extremely high positive outcome, the real outcome will fall short. Moving on to the third bullet, it says, consistent with Pope's view, spouses who lack the skills to cultivate positive experiences may benefit more from moderate expectations. So if that's not just the person you are, to constantly be setting these high expectations and be disappointed from them, then maybe just to set moderate expectations is better for you. So after reading this study, what I got out of it was just, there's not a bottom line for every couple. That every couple and even every individual is different, and you need to determine what is best for you, to expect the best or to brace for the worst. But let me share the results. The results showed that partners who perceived their ideal standards were not being met tended to be least happy in their relationships. So that's the bottom line, is we want each spouse's ideal standards to be met if possible. Spouses who tended to make positive attributions also tended to hold positive expectations for their relationship and their partners. I think positivity is the key. An interesting thing is that wives who experienced more positive behavior in their marriage also relieved their husbands from blame for their negative behaviors. I think every husband would love to be blamed less for their negative behaviors. Positive expectations appear to be beneficial because they inspire perceptual and behavioral confirmation processes that in turn lead to positive outcomes. All in all, I'd like to sum it up that when spouses' skills were most positive, positive expectations predicted more stable satisfaction over time, whereas less positive expectations predicted steeper declines. Now, in conclusion, I'd just like to sum up these myths. There was a list developed by these authors about beliefs for relationships that were unrealistic, and keep in mind these are myths. So the belief that a disagreement is always destructive, the belief that partners should read each other's minds, the belief that partners cannot change, and the belief in sexual perfectionism, and finally the belief that sexes are inherently different. They mentioned that endorsement of these beliefs has been associated with lower levels of satisfaction with the relationship. I just wanted to share this with you so that you can be aware of your expectations and where they lead you, whether that's positive or negative, and to let you guys know that it does in fact have an effect on the satisfaction in your marriage. So personally, I choose to be positive, but I think the key is realistic expectations, but I want you to make that choice for yourself. So thanks for listening.